Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Today is January the 24th. I said that wrong completely on the recording earlier that I was testing out this microphone because I said it was the 23rd and it's clearly the 24th of January 2017. And we welcome you to BitBranding's Brain 10 episode, the first one this week because it's Tuesday and we do 2 a week, one on Tuesday and one on Friday. And today's episode is tips on how to take better photos and better video right on your camera phone. I am going to start out today's episode because this is my week to actually be the host. My name is Franklin.
My name is Christian.
And my name is Aaron.
Awesome. So all three of us are here and Aaron is dancing with his thumbs and I'm talking into a microphone, which I hope sounds pretty good. But anyway, I will kick this thing off by passing the microphone to the maestro himself that starts out every show. Take it away.
All right. So like Franklin just said, we're going to talk about 10 plus tips to take better photos and videos from your phone. And we have some pretty good stuff in here. But number one, and this is something that we talked about before, is make sure to use the grid lines on your phone to basically balance your shot. This is also known as a rule of thirds, and this is something that Franklin, Aaron, and I have all talked about in the past. And you can activate this on iPhones or Android phones or any kind of phone. I think they all come with that grid. And what it does is it splits the screen into basically 9 cubes. And what you want to do is put things that are interesting or anything that you're going to take a shot of, put it into where the lines meet is where the eye usually goes to whenever the eye is looking for, photography or screen or anything like that. The rule of thirds says that, the eye usually goes wherever those lines intersect or wherever those lines are. So if you have a subject like me, for example, something like this would be lined up with that second line that comes down vertically. It's good just to use this in order to, split up your space on your photos or videos. And I mean, any photography student can tell you that this composition, it's something that, everyone studies, and it's just, I don't know, everyone uses it really. At least for photographers, it's something that is very well known. Not a lot of people know about it, so that's what we're telling you.
Absolutely. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, I may turn on the grid on my phone anyway, just to, I don't know, I don't ever have it on, but it'd be kind of cool to just practice with it.
Yeah.
All right. So number 2 is something that I'm trying to get better at, which is embrace negative space. So this helps you whenever you're focusing, and just to clarify, any negative space is anything that's not focusing on the subject. So if you have a guy standing up against a wall and you just have a lot of negative space and then a smaller portion of him, it helps that subject stand out more because of the negative space. So can do that in a lot of pictures, but I actually haven't done too much of it. I want to start doing more, and it's really easy with our phones because you don't need anything special to make that picture better, because it will automatically look cooler or look better just by adding negative space there.
Yes, sir. That is absolutely correct. Anyway, but I do want to piggyback on both of the things that you guys just said, because I am the photographer out of the group. Using the grid lines and embracing the negative space actually go hand in hand with each other, because it will create that balance in your photo for the main subject. So that those two are like absolutely great tips. And I'm going to add to this, but this isn't like generally like photo specific. It's actually for photo and video. You want to make sure that before you add any filters to anything that you're going to post on any social network, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you edit the true color of the image before you add a filter to it, because there are a couple of reasons why. One, if you edit the true colors, you might actually like it better than adding a filter onto the actual photo itself. And then if you don't edit the true colors, if you add a filter on there, sometimes it could throw the whole entire like look and feel of the image off. Perfect example is if you are wanting to use a filter that has like a lot of orange in it, or is like really, really warm, if it makes the image really warm, and you have like the shot where the colors are absolutely all the way blue, if you add those two together, it's going to cancel that out, and it's going to make your image like look really, really either really cool, meaning that it's going to like basically like flatten itself out, so there won't be any dimension in the color of the image. So you might want to actually just take a look at what the actual photo looks like, color edit it before you add a filter. And that's my 2 cents on that.
Now, if they're doing this from their phone, do you have top of your head any app, or can they use the editing software from the phone to do that?
I'm actually going to touch on that in just a second.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so another way to make your pictures better or make them stand out is to try and do different angles or different perspectives on images. A lot of people just do straight on, like what we're doing right now, which the camera's right in front of me, I'm right here. But when you're taking pictures of things or doing videos, you can definitely play with your perspective and your angles, and try to find cool ways to still deliver the message, but doing it in a way that not a lot of people are doing. So I think a few years back, and this is all over Instagram now, and I mean a lot of people are doing this, but this aerial shot of even your table with like different things around it, those kind of shots weren't very popular until kind of Instagram blew up, and that was kind of like a style of photography that a lot of people, a lot of people did and are still doing. So don't be afraid to experiment with those angles and finding new ways to show your story or show your images or show your videos.
What's crazy that you say that is that I really want to say that Pinterest and Instagram like had a really big deal on having like making that angle itself like super popular, like because you see like people like companies like Craftsman, whenever they were doing like some of their social media posts, they would lay out tools like that, lay out tools on like wood and shoot it. You see people laying out dinners that way. And then like recently, like BuzzFeed got really creative with actually like doing those tutorial videos from that same shot. It gives like an overhead perspective of like, hey, this is what cooking chicken in the frying pan with butter and onions looks like. Delicious.
Yeah, so HelloFresh is like a food delivery service that comes to you, like gets delivered to your door, and they do a really good job at different perspectives and different angles that Christian's talking about. I think food's like obviously one that we're talking about a lot, but HelloFresh, there is a bunch of competition for those kinds of companies, but I feel like even just for them, their photography is so much better. Like even going to their website, it's all different colors, different angles, which is cool. And that obviously made an impact on me. All right, let's move on here to number 5, which is to look for symmetry with your pictures. It helps attract people's eyes. It's simple, and it really just brings out a lot in the picture. So if you have 2 shoes and something in the middle of those shoes, just like breaking up the picture, we're attracted to it. I don't know why, but even a pair of shoes looks really cool with one left foot, a right foot, and there's like something in the middle that's like a focal point, but it's just nice and symmetrical, which is really, really cool to follow with your eye.
The main reason that people are actually super, like, I guess you could say attracted to things that are balanced when it comes to images is because that's the way we're wired. Like, we're attracted to the women that we're with because of how balanced they are, symmetrically. That's the word. I can't talk today. Based off of the way that their face is built, like if like in your face and your eyes, the way that you look and you see them, that's the way they are. And that's another reason why that rule of thirds thing works so well, because our eyes stay on the image to try to find the symmetry in it. And as long as it's balanced, we will continue to look at that image over and over and over. You can look up the rule of thirds. I'm real big on that. Rule of thirds and the golden mean. Like, go and look that up, and it will mess you up. Anyway, I'm going on to the next thing that's on my list, and keeping up a little trend. I want to actually give you guys some tips on like photo and video that you can use both. And this is photo and video, and I wrote in my like script light with exclamation marks. Your camera phone doesn't have an aperture on it like this thing. Like, and the aperture is the like the pinhole. So like, you see that hole right there? Like, compare that hole to that hole. Like, you wouldn't get anything in it. You can't even stick a pin in that hole. But anyway, what I'm saying is that it would be extremely hard for you to get light. What are you laughing at, Aaron? It's really hard for you to actually get light in this right here. And the reason why I say that is because the darker it is, the grainier your image is going to be. And the only reason why a lot of camera phones are getting better, like the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus, is because they've developed technology that is embedded into the camera's like technology to compensate for the grain. So like, it has a bigger sensor in it, but still it doesn't have a sensor as big as this one. So whenever you take photos with this in the dark, oh well, mine's a 6S Plus, so it doesn't have the same camera capabilities as the 7 or the 7 Plus. But the reason why that camera is so much better is because it has grain compensation in it. So it basically cleans the image up while it's being shot. So whenever you're doing any photo or any video, especially if it's going to be used for like marketing yourself, try to do it in the light. One of my favorite things that I see a lot of Instagram famous people do whenever they're shooting their images from their camera phone is that they go get right in front of a mirror, not a mirror, like they go get right in front of a window. And you might not be able to tell because they're taking photos of themselves, but they're usually right in front of the window, and it's usually golden hour of the day whenever they're taking those shots. So whenever you actually see that, see those images on Instagram, try to mimic that lighting composition. So just stick your phone right in the window, turn it backwards, and get right in front of it. Guarantee you that shot is going to come out perfect. Video as well. And then it makes it easier to do every other step that we've talked about up until this point.
Yep, it's very true. So we're on number 7 on how to get these photos looking awesome from your phone. So another big thing, and I don't see a lot of people doing this, but the people who do it, they usually turn out kind of bad. But you want to avoid zooming in from your phone. I know like the iPhone 7 has a better zoom feature, but it's still not recommended, because when you do that zoom in from your phone, 99.9% of the time it's going to look grainy and pixelated and not very good. So our recommendation for you, if you're wanting to take a picture from something far away, is to actually physically get closer to that subject, unless it's some kind of wild animal or something that might attack you, then obviously keep your distance. But yeah, definitely get closer to the whatever you're going to take a picture of, and then take a picture. Do not zoom in, because it will ruin your picture. It will look grainy. It will look pixelated. It's better to edit pictures, bigger pictures than smaller pictures. So
yes, rule number 1. stay away from wild animals.
Yes.
That's what I gathered from that. And number 8 is not nearly exciting. We're talking about flowers, not animals. But number 8 is to try color blocking. So what this is, I gave an example on here, is that you could have a picture of like, say a flower bed, and you want to focus on one picture or one flower that's there. You can add the color, the actual color of that flower, to that black and white photo, and that will pop out the image, and it looks cool. So a lot of people do this with like fruit, like apples, but you could do it with your brand as well. You could even take my example of the guy up against a brick wall. Could be a completely black and white background, and the guy could be in color, and that would pop out him more, as well as the negative space. So play around with some color blocking.
Sorry, I had a hard time actually like getting to the unmute button, so I wouldn't like be talking over what you're saying. So I apologize. But yes, I actually like color blocking. Color blocking is really cool, especially whenever you see like images of like babies with really, really bright blue eyes, and people go in and like make the whole entire photo black and white and like change the baby's eyes to like blue. And appreciate that. But anyway, but that is like really, really cool. Now, to answer, I told Christian that I was going to be speaking on this, and here are my, I guess you can say, my recommendations whenever it comes to like things that you can use to edit photos, and these are photo specific, okay? And the reason why I use these is because these are actual professional photo editing softwares on desktop. They have desktop versions of these softwares, and these are the I guess you can say not the run of the mill, but like what usually pro photographers actually use. And those are Lightroom, Photoshop, and VSCO. Now VSCO, it's its own application in the phone, but they usually make presets, which are quote unquote filters for Lightroom and Photoshop. Now, unlike your Instagram filters, you can't really edit an Instagram filter in Instagram. VSCO actually gives you the ability to start out with their preset and then make adjustments based off of the preset that they've already created. But Lightroom and Photoshop, the mobile version of Photoshop will actually allow you to professionally get rid of spots and or any other like imperfection, or you need like to patch up grass, you can use that Photoshop version for mobile to actually clean up any of the patchings. And Lightroom will allow you to do that color editing that I was telling you guys about earlier. It allows you to professionally manipulate your clarity, your contrast, your exposure, what else? Anything that has to do with actual photography professionally, you can do it in this mobile version of Lightroom. Now, I will say that there is one thing that I would say be wary of, is that you can manipulate your clarity, your clarity, and your contrast inside VSCO. Well, most people call it Visco, so I'm just gonna call it Visco. Visco, you can. So don't overdo it whenever you're editing, like for clarity in Lightroom, and then you save it and you go into Visco, and do the same thing, because then you can over clarify your image and that would just look horrible. So what I would say is be aware that you've already adjusted your clarity, but I would just usually just get your photo like nice and clean in Lightroom and then move over to Visco to actually do your color, your coloring and your film editing, because that's what Visco is usually used for. I love it.
All right.
So
now, if we're talking to an older demographic and they're not really, they might not do all that stuff. What's like would you just recommend them to, if they're business owners and they're taking pictures of some of their products and they're posting them on Instagram? That's the only thing they're doing. They're not doing any of their social media. They're just doing Instagram. would you still recommend all that process, or would you just tell
No.
them, hey, find
No.
something, some filter on Instagram or something, or maybe just VSCO and then?
That's exactly what I was about to say. If you aren't trying to do all that extra stuff and just make the photo like super perfect mobilely, just use straight up Visco. VSCO is just really great whenever it comes to the exposure, clarity, and things like that. And like they have a ton of presets. Whenever I say whenever I reinstalled it on my iPad yesterday, I didn't realize it, but I had over of about 100 presets that I purchased now, and they're extremely affordable. They're like 99 cents for a pack. You'll pay 99 cents, but you'll get like 10 or 15 presets. They have some for that are specific for making food look radiant and bright. They have some that are specific to making it look like film. There's some that makes that are tailored toward those Nike ads, like Nike sponsored those presets.
Obviously they have some free ones, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. They do have have a couple that are free, and then also Visco is really good at making one that is a paid one, like promotionally free for a certain period of time, and then it's free indefinitely once you get it.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, you heard it here first, guys. Number 10 is don't be afraid to use some accessories. We talked about this in one of our workshops, and we definitely recommend people to just get a tripod. If you're filming yourself, or if you're wanting to get some stable video, definitely get a tripod. Other things that you can get those clip-on lenses, so you can do some cool things, some cool shots. You can do some macro shots, some fisheye, some a little bit wider images. So yeah, just go check out Amazon, Best Buy, whatever, and go to the phone section or go to the camera section, and you'll find a bunch of stuff for your phones to make them better, or not even better, but different. Not a lot of people are using those things, especially business owners. They're just using their phones and that's it. But if you get a few accessories, and if you go to Amazon, you can find them for pretty cheap. I think one of the tripods that we use, it's only like $6 or $8, and it's from Amazon. So yeah, spend some money on some accessories.
Absolutely. I have not used my fisheye for a while, but a lot of times whenever I do use it for even Snapchat or Instagram, people are like, wow, how'd you get that cool angle on your Instagram story? The truth, magic. But really, yeah, I like that. That's a good tip. So my next one and my final one, this will be my last one, just unless I come up with a crazy one at the end, but this is it. Just drawing it out. Number 11. It's just about the details. It's always the little things in life. This is a methodical class, so be thinking about it this way. But no, really, my tip is to capture the small details about your photo or your subject, whatever you're trying to take a picture of. Try to find the small details. There's almost always a small detail or something more detailed about the bigger picture that you are trying to capture. So even if you're trying to take a picture of a spider, even finding the different ways that the web and the spider are there together, those small details, that will really, it's interesting to us because it's a different angle, it's a different perspective, and so many people can take a picture of a certain subject, but it's how you focus on the details of it. So try to look closer to the details of the image.
That is some really good advice. I failed my first design class because I didn't pay enough attention to the details, and I learned my lesson. Let's just say that. Specifically because, like you said, there are certain things in images that people are more captivated by. Like if you were taking photos of a spider web, if there were dew on the spider web and you can see the water dripping from the spider web, but the small detail is like a reflection of the spider inside the dude. Like those things like that will like, oh my God, that photo is so amazing. Like that's exactly what would happen whenever like people see stuff like that. That mean, because like you said, like those are things that we can't see to the naked eye, and photography is one of the things that actually allows you to catch those said things. All right. My last and final one, and this is the last one of the day because I go last, and it is video specific because I gave you 2 that were photo and video, and now I gave you 1 that was photo specific, and now this is video specific. And it's all about your editing and putting the video together. I cannot stress this enough. Please make sure that your slices and your clips, for lack of better words, make sense. Okay? So what I mean by that is that your beginning clip needs to start out with exactly what you want it to start out with, not parts where it's saying, okay, are we ready? Are we recording? All right. Yeah. All right. So, hey guys, what's going on? This is, cut that out. Please cut that out. And and then if you are ending it, make sure that you're ending your clip, your full video, with like the parts where you want to make sure that the video is ended. If you're recording a video of someone, make sure that your subject just stays still until the video ends. And then also whenever you're slicing to like place your video together, make sure that your slices actually go along with your story. If you are doing a car chase, or better yet, perfect example is we watched Chastity, my wife, and I watched Ted the other night, the movie about the talking teddy bear. Yes, we watched Ted. And in the movie, there's a clip where Mark Wahlberg is tying his tie. And the scene was recorded twice from 2 different angles, and you can tell that they spliced the video together incorrectly because he was putting on his tie, and whenever the splice came in, he was tying his tie, but from the very beginning. But her lines, when she was talking to him, were already like further into it, so you could tell that the slice didn't make sense and it wasn't spliced together well. Only thing that went well were her lines, but the scene, his body position, and everything was all the way wrong, and it threw me off, and I paid attention to all that stuff. Now, you might say that, okay, no one's going to pay attention to that on social media. Yes, you will be on World Star. You will be on every other like gossip, I can't believe they did this video website. If you don't pay attention to small details like that whenever you're putting out a video to advertise for yourself, or if you're just trying to make one of those viral videos, pay attention to those small little details, and I'm guaranteed that your videos will come out awesome.
Word. And actually, I do notice those little things on movies, especially like whenever they have like a glass full of milk, and then the next scene, like the words still make sense, but the next scene, like the glass of milk is already gone.
Right.
Why are you laughing?
What was
like
that?
I thought that was funny. Can people not laugh?
No, that was very sarcastic and rude.
No, it wasn't.
Jesus.
I would just want that glass of milk. That sounds pretty good right now.
Milk right now? I don't really think milk right now sounds good at all. Okay. So, any of you guys have any other tips that go along with this? I will take
I do
that.
not.
Okay. All right. I will take that as a no. Well, guys, again, these have been 10 plus tips on helping you guys actually make better videos and better photos right from your mobile device. Now, I will say that Franklin is, I am a huge DSLR advocate. That means that you should buy a camera. It doesn't have to like be like the most professional camera to take photos, but I'm actually warming up to the actual mobile process of actually taking photos from the device and editing them. one of my last tips, I'm going to throw something extra in here, is to actually go and look at other people's images, and I'm not saying mimic them like the actual setup, but try to recreate the style. That way you can study to see exactly what they did, so that you can create your own style and your own look, your own feel, to move forward, creating better images and create something that's more aesthetically appealing to other people that's done differently. Okay. All right. So like I said, that brings today's episode to an end. Today is January the 24th, 2017. And we are BitBranding, coming straight out of Allen, Texas. My name is Franklin.
My name is Christian.
And my name is Aaron. We are not in Compton, but straight out, it just goes with it. But Allen, Texas works too.
Yeah, it worked. Okay, so that will conclude today's episode. We hope to see you again here Friday, same time, same place, and we will see you guys soon. Peace.